This is Mr. Dunn, voice of Mr. Maleficent, and on my mind. First off, I want to apologize about what happened Wednesday. I honestly still don't know what after a less than a minute long gameplay after the first half hour I played. I don't know if it was Sony or YouTube, but for some reason it would not let me play. So I apologize for the short episode. Now on to the main event. I just finished watching Angry Joe's review of Anthem. You know, alright review, enjoyable, whatever. But there's nothing he said, well, things he said, but it's nothing to do with the content he said. Because I've been meaning to do this since an epic fail video he did for Anthem. And oh, fuck. Disclaimer, I did not give a shit about Anthem when it was announced in EA. I did not give a shit about Anthem all this time. And the reason I did not give a shit about Anthem was because I think I knew where it was going, and it was going to be a game I did not care about. So, you know, not my thing. But the state it was released in, the state it was just made, shows exactly it's not good.
Wait to Discord.
It's not good at all. I've been a Bioware fan for a very, very long time. I enjoyed Jade Empire, KOTOR, Dragon Age, Mass Effect Trilogy. I never played Mass Effect Andromeda, but so I can't give an opinion on that one. I played... oh, what else did I play? Let's see, KOTOR, Jade Empire... oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Etc., etc. Anthem's a piece of shit. Why is it a piece of crap? Because this is a cycle EA has pushed constantly for ages now. It's a continuous cycle. This is... and I've had some... okay, I won't say I've had first-hand experience. I have talked to people that have had first-hand experience in dealing with Electronic Arts. Oh, I've heard stories. And anyone that knows me well knows how much I loathe Electronic Arts. It is now, ever since the whole Battlefront debacle, I have not bought anything from Electronic Arts since. I refuse to. I can't take it anymore. I can't take the state AAA gaming in it anymore. I think the most... I'm trying to think what the most recent thing I bought. And before anyone brings up Apex Legends, as much as I've played that game, I didn't buy it. Key thing there. That was free. Which will move on to another topic later. I don't even remember what I'm even doing in this game anymore. But Anthem and Bioware... Bioware's gonna get shut down. There's no way around it. I know it's gonna get shut down. You wanna know why I know it's gonna get shut down? Because it's the exact same thing that's happened to Visceral Games. This is the same thing that happened to Bioware Montreal, or Vancouver, or wherever it was for Anthem. They shut down studios for games that didn't do as well as they would have liked. You know what? I'm better off going back to the hub right now while I rant. They do this all the time. But the thing is, it's also because they put unreasonable standards on these developers. And you want to know what I mean by that? What's Bioware known for? Narrative gameplay, single-player experience, very lovely crafted RPGs, so on and so on. That is what they're known for. What is Anthem? It is a semi-massive multiplayer on-live loot shooter. Want to know an example of a loot shooter? I'm playing it right now. It is a Destiny clone. They're trying to get on the bandwagon of Destiny. Good God, why? Because Destiny's not exactly been in the best of graces, even with Destiny fans. But if you're trying to capitalize on those people, too late. They have Destiny. And EA does this a lot. They never create their own trends. They follow other trends. And they force other. Why you constantly buy studios and not let them do what they're good at? They do this all the time. And when they don't, and when they do not perform to whatever expectations Electronic Arts believes, they shut them down. I completely agree with Jim Sterling with the name Unicronic Arts, because it's dead on. It consumes any developer studio that it buys. It will ruin it. It will ruin it because they want them to follow what their idea of a game should be. You want to know what their idea of a game should be? Look at the state EA Sports is in. That is what their idea of a game should be. A game that's not even a game anymore. A game where you're constantly throwing money at the same thing over and over again with little or less content. I mean, this is why Apex Legends is doing well, because EA didn't touch it. Oh, they published it. Oh, they published it all right. But overall, they didn't do jack squat with it. And this is a cycle that's going on over and over and over and over again. And I cannot believe anyone would agree to any sort of money to be published by EA, because they'll just ruin you. They'll ruin your product, they'll ruin your art, they'll ruin your reputation. Look at the state Bioware is in now. I remember being upset when the founders, I wish I could remember their names, left after Mass Effect 3. They got out while the going was good. Honestly, they probably saw where the wind was blowing after Mass Effect was done. Because, fuck, what has BioWare really made sense? Okay, they made Dragon Age Inquisition. That was a good game. Not so much Dragon Age 2. Or Mass Effect Andromeda, as I've heard. Anthem is a buggy mess. The Old Republic said mixed results. Yeah, what the hell? And I feel bad. I like BioWare. I want to support BioWare, but I can't. I can't, because they're associated with Electronic Arts. And Electronic Arts is a cancer. And it's not just them. It's all AAA gaming's a cancer at this point. It's because they are all focused under the one thing they think will garner them the most amount of money, even though their implementation of doing it is insane. And this is where I have to get to the live service. Oh God. I'm sure anyone listening to me that's watched Jim Sterling, and some of you people out there are sick of him constantly talking about it. Well, there's a good reason why he keeps talking about it, because the game industry keeps bringing it up. And it's because they really have no idea how to do a live service. They don't, because they're trying to maximize profit off of every little thing they create. And I have my bachelor's of science is in this kind of thing. And I look at this as an unfeasible and self-destructive business plan. You're throwing in money down a hole at this point. And here's why. And let me try to explain this. It's time for education time. Okay. Here's how a live service should work. And a good example of this are massive multiplayer online games. Because, let's be honest, a massive MMORPG, best example, is a live service. Why is it a live service? Because it's a service that's constantly being updated. It's a service that requires those who work on it to keep working on it, update it, you know, bug tweaks. You want people to keep coming on, so you bring on new content. I personally believe said content should be free or excessively cheap, unlike what Activision Blizzard believes with WoW. It costs 60 fucking bucks for a new expansion every fucking time. Are you fucking joking? Seriously? Who has that kind of money? Still, sorry, that's gonna be another rant. Okay, as I was saying, you should focus on that one game. New things to make that game more interesting and great and keep it going. As I said, all MMORPGs are a great example of this. That is an example of a live service the way it is intended. Is a single game that will keep growing from what it was, constantly updated, constantly being used, keep a good community, and, you know, say it's like some kind of like esports game type game, then yeah, you keep working on that. Great. Why do you think we had Street Fighter 4 for so long? Granted, also because Capcom was desperate for money and so it was cheap to keep updating that. But, you know, it worked. I like Street Fighter 5. But what in reality are AAA publishers doing? They're not doing that. They throw all this money into advertising, and they throw all this money into endorsements. I almost want to say bribes. I don't trust a lot of mainstream journalism anymore when it comes to gaming because they lie. This is why I watch YouTubers. And the thing is, they don't do this for one game. Oh, no. They got to have a new game every 6 months to a year. And then throw away the service they were using from the previous game a year before. What? Economically, that's insane. That is insane economically. Because in the end, you're getting less and less results.
A vault hunter.
Or if you have any results, they're going to be very short term. This is why EA Sports is just freaking maddening to me, and I hate EA Sports. I hate it. I have owned 2 EA Sports games in my life. One for hockey, one for football. That's it. Why bother getting more? But they keep doing this constantly for every game. So the all the money they put into servers, all the money they put into working on that game, all the money they put into advertising is thrown out the window because next year they do the same thing over again with a new game. Usually in the same series. Ubisoft does this with Assassin's Creed. And again, it goes over and over and over and over again. And they wonder why they're not getting the same profit margins they had in the past, even though they're throwing in special editions, even though they're throwing in loot boxes, they're throwing in season passes. A lot of that stuff I'm sick of. They keep throwing this stuff in, try to capitalize more and more with less and less players because people aren't constantly buying these things because they can't. There's not such thing as unlimited money. And thus, their live service model, as stupid as it was to begin with, completely collapses in upon itself. And they keep complaining that their shareholders are upset. They complain that they only... Oh, this still wrinkles my Wrinkles Me went, what game was it? That was complaining, oh, we only sold like 70 million instead of 80 million copies of a game or something like that. No, it was 7 million. I just wish I could remember what it was. I'm like, wow, you only sold 7 million. I'm lucky if I could sell my YouTube channel to one person. I can't remember. I think it was Electronic Arts again. Yes, it was, because this was Battlefield. They were the ones complaining about it. Now I remember. It's like, seriously, guys? And then they're going to have another Battlefield next year, so all the money they put in to the last Battlefield, they'll be doing it again. And again, it will be coming to diminishing returns over and over and over again. They're not going to be, and when you, and I don't know if it's just AAA Gaming that has this problem too, but when your corporation has reached the peak of profit margins, it can only go down. There's no more up. You can't keep going up because there is no more up after a while. When you hit the top of Everest, you can't go any higher. What do you want to do? So they're going to keep milking gamers some more until the point where they just collapse in upon themselves. EA does this constantly, and when a game doesn't perform where they believe it should perform, which is sometimes in astronomical terms, they shut down developer studios. How many more developer studios do they even have left anymore? They shut down so many to try to capitalize on profit margins. So many companies have done this lately where they've hired, or where they fired a shit ton of people, but given raises to their CEOs, and then complain that their profit margins are as high as they should be. Well, one, maybe you should stop firing your workforce. Because that's short-term gains. That's short-term gains. Oh yes, you have profits for that year, but what about for the next 10 years? You have one bad year, you get rid of like half your workforce? What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, I assume you guys are college educated. I'm assuming you guys at the top have learned how to do business. If you didn't, you wouldn't be where you are now. But is it just me, or is this whole thing just gone insane? Guys, when you've reached peak efficiency and reached as far as you can profit-wise, you can't expect maximum profits 100% of the time or for it to keep growing. Your profit margins can only go so high. That's just basic economics. Does not compute. God damn it, I'm pissed. And that's the state we're at with Anthem. Anthem is not going to do as well, sorry. Because, let's be honest, they'll shut it down again. Honestly, I gotta check on this. Is the Old Republic still working? Does it still have servers? Because I don't hear squat about it anymore since, what was it, the Fallen Empire update? Is it still around? Do they even look at that anymore? Because if not, if it is still around, I'm kind of shocked. Not because it's bad, it's just because, again, EA's track record. Because that's one of the things I think that really ticks me off more than anything else is I know they're going to shut down Bioware. Anthem is not performing the way they want it to. Well, it's performing exactly what they expect it to with their bait and switch tactics. I'll get into that in a minute. But Anthem is not going to do as good as they'd like. Their shareholders are going to be upset that the profit's not continually rising. Their shares are going to drop again. And they're just going to shut down the studio. That upsets me, because BioWare was such a great role-playing studio. I'm waiting to see if they cancel the next Dragon Age. Or, fuck, I'm kind of scared what's going to happen with the next Dragon Age. Because I remember them sending teasers and stuff about the next Dragon Age. I just don't see it being as good as Inquisition or the original. Dragon Age Origins was great. Granted, it's based off of a different system, but it was still great. And this is the stuff I'm talking about. And again, it's not just EA. Ubisoft is doing this. Activision Blizzard is, oh my god, I remember, and I read about them, like, getting rid of what? Like, what was it, like 800, or... They got rid of a ton of members of staff, just so they could save money. And Activision, oh, Activision's notorious for its freaking price gouging on its fans. I still haven't, granted, I never bought it or I have played it, but I never bought, I played the original. I have not bought the remake of Call of Duty 4 because the remastered version took out all the DLC. They added loot boxes because that's what they do. And then they put the DLC back, but you had to pay for it. For a game that's over a decade old. Fuck you guys. I'm not paying for that downloadable content. Especially when, you know, it already exists on an older system. Screw you. Alright. But back to a previous topic I mentioned I was going to get into. The bait and switch tactics of Anthem. Now again, I was not originally aware of this because I did not follow Anthem. I did not care about Anthem. There were some neat concepts in there, but it wasn't enough to really, you know, pull me in. And I looked over the EA 2017 trailer compared to the game itself. And I realized they did exactly what 2K Games and Sega did with Alien Colonial Marines. They gave us a demo that looked better than the final game. They did stuff that are not in the final game. The demo looks better than the final game. This is not the same thing that was shown to us. Real in-game footage? Bullshit. Now, granted, I call bullshit on that a lot of the time when they bring that up in EA anymore. But, you see, there's the problem. There's a difference between a pre-rendered cutscene and actual gameplay. And what they gave us was not what we got. And, let's not forget, the guys behind Colonial Marines were sued for bait and switch. What is stopping people from doing that again with Anthem? Maybe it's because people might like Anthem more than Colonial Marines because it's not as much garbage? But Anthem's got problems. A lot of them. It's got some of the worst stuff Destiny had. It's got grindy gameplay. It's got samey missions. It's got events that could have been so much bigger than they were. I applaud Bungie for being able to keep Destiny's license, because this is my personal belief. Publishers should not own games. They shouldn't. They shouldn't own the title. They shouldn't own the works. It should be owned by the people who actually made it. I mean, okay, let's put it this way. Imagine Harry Potter. Let's use Harry Potter, for example. Harry Potter is owned by J.K. Rowling. She's the one who wrote it. What would happen if the book publisher owned Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling had no say in it? None at all. Because... why exactly? What is the difference between that and gaming? Why? Is it because the copyright laws are a little more, you know, clear-cut for writing? Is it because gaming is just something that no one will you know, put a stake in and say, all right, the rights need to go here because they should. I really don't want to be pushing laws on the games, but man, the exploitation of the workforce when it comes to gaming is ridiculous. This is why I'm glad I never got into making games, because I know as soon as a publisher would get involved, I'd be fucked. I would be fucked, regardless if my game was successful or not, because they would fire my ass, because it'd be cheaper either to shut down the studio or to hire somebody else who doesn't know how to, doesn't know the same kind of game making, but makes it in the way they want. There is no job security in gaming. None at all. Especially in, like, quality and in, oh my gosh, and just development in general. Because I swear they hired on new teams every game. That just boggles the mind for me. I'm like, wouldn't you want, especially if a game does well, wouldn't you want the same team? I don't remember it being like this, like, 2 decades ago. I don't remember this being like this during the GameCube era or earlier. Then again, I also remember when games were released without bugs. When a game was released, it was released final, and there were no updates to fix problems if something came up. You made sure a game worked well before you sent it out. See, that's another thing differentiates publishing then to now. Because there's online connectivity, they don't give a crap how a game functions. If it doesn't function for shit, oh, they say, oh, don't worry, we can patch it later. No, I want my game to work as it's released. You can tell I'm a little emotional about this crap right now. Then again, I've been stewing over AAA publishing and gaming for a while now. This is one of the reasons I don't monetize my channel, because I know they blacklist me immediately. And again, when I talk about modern gaming, I'm playing a game from a generation ago. Oh, I don't own too many of this generation because they're just not worth it. Or if I, you know, do, they're remasters of older games. The idea of annual games is also crazy. Because you don't give enough time to play test, you don't give enough time to work and be able to make sure it works. I also believe in not exploiting your workforce to the point where workaholics are the only ones that can really keep working. That's a problem more for just companies in general. This isn't just gaming. When you can only have so little time to yourself to relax and recharge before going back into work. But some of the things in that's an economic problem. That is a mindset problem. That has nothing to do with gaming. But back onto my ranting about gaming. It's AAA gaming and Electronic Arts and so on and so forth, because, again, I loathe Electronic Arts. I've loathed it for so long. It is a deep-seated hate. I don't even remember when I started hating them with a passion. I always hated EA Sports. I always hated EA Sports because it was a load of crap. They give you so little and want you to pay so much for it, and then just give us another one a year later. Whatever happened to updates? Because honestly, if there's a live service that could work as a live service, it'd be EA Sports. But they fuck it up every time they come out with it. And I don't even like EA Sports. But here's the thing. You know what you should do with EA Sports is that you should release one base game. One base game. You have updates every year. You don't pay $60 for it. That either be free or maybe at max $10. Depending on what the updates were. If it was just a roster update, fuck that, make it free. If you're actually adding stuff to the game with the roster update, then maybe. But that is a system that would work great for a live service. You make the base game cost only so much, or better yet, free. Yeah, I'm going to say this. I honestly think, especially the way they run games now, their games should be free. Because they force you to pay for a lot of stupid crap. They force you to pay for special editions. They force you to pay for season passes. They force you to pay for, like, DLC. Day 1 DLC. DLC that's on the disc. Yeah, Capcom was well known for that. They got better. I think once they took enough flack, they got better. Not saying much. But, again, make your games free. Oh no, that could cut into our profit margins. Well, you guys keep complaining about your profit margins, so might as well just go the whole hog. Make your games free. And then add your microtransaction bullshit. Because then it makes sense. Because microtransactions should be in a free-to-play game. Not a premium game that costs 60... No, it's not even beyond anymore. That costs $100. Because you're not getting the full game at $60 anymore. You're not. You're getting the base game. But not even a complete game. Because the complete game requires a season pass. Or it requires a special edition of some sort. And now there's like... Oh, God. I saw Jim Stern in this video about, like, what was it, Assassin's Creed Odyssey? It had like 5 to 6 special editions. I didn't even know how to follow it. Because it was like, why? Well, I know why. Greed. But how many people out there really have the money to keep buying these special editions? I did it for... I've only done this once in like the past maybe 5 years. I bought a special edition something. And that was Injustice 2, I think. I think that was the only one. I don't think my Persona game was a special edition. It was just day 1 edition. I bought a special edition of that. It cost me $100 fucking dollars. It came with its season pass because I knew it was going to have DLC. And I didn't want to pay for each character. Oh my god. Though, I stopped playing Injustice 2. When the game deleted, with an update, deleted some of my unlocked content. I said, I give up. I give up. There's no winning in this system anymore. And it's maddening, because I like NetherRealm Studios. I love NetherRealm Studios, but I think WB Interactive forces them to do really stupid crap. Because again, that's what publishers do. Because they're trying to milk every little cent you have. No one has that much money. I don't have that much money. I mean, it's obvious, since I don't have video capture equipment. I have to use the online video service of my PlayStation to do this stuff. Because I don't have the money for video capture equipment right now. I don't even have a camera. I'm trying to think, what's the last new game I bought? No, because no, I got that for. Let's see, I was gonna say Lego, but I got that for sale. See, Anthem was free, or not Anthem. Apex Legends was free. I do recommend. Excuse me. Again, as a free-to-play game, I highly recommend it. Even though it's an EA game, I recommend it because it is free and it is fun. A lot of people say. Not a lot of people. I've had some friends say it's like a better version of Fortnite. I've never played Fortnite, so I have no idea. I can't even judge. I'm just, again, I'm sitting here trying to figure out if I've gotten something on release lately. What was the last game I bought? Because I want to say the Lego DC Super Villains. But I didn't buy that at release. I bought that for like half off. As I look at my, let's see, I know I bought Darksiders 3, but I think I got that was before DC Lego. Oh, crud, what did I buy? This thing. Kingdom Hearts, that's what it was. Kingdom Hearts 3. I didn't even buy that at release. It was like a week later. But, again, that's something else, and honestly, didn't feel like I was nickel and dimed by Kingdom Hearts. I'll at least say that. Square, say what you will for Square, it isn't like completely ruining gaming for me. There are things about Kingdom Hearts 3 that bug me, but again, finances is not one of them. I think any other topics I can that have really like grinding my gears. I know usually I spend more time actually playing games while I talk, but I'm just so mad I couldn't even focus on shooting anything. Shit. I'm getting an internet warning again. I think there's anything else. Because I know I've worded a lot of stuff that made me mad. A lot of stuff doesn't make any sense to me. And a lot of stuff that, again, someone with a basic college education, especially focused on economics and business, can point out how stupid your business model is from a panel of, like, I would assume experts of some kind. That's sad. That's sad, because inevitably AAA gaming is just going to collapse in upon itself. Because, especially, I don't remember where. What the fuck was that? Where in because I posted this recently. Oh, now I remember. This was a comment I made on Angry Joe's video for the Anthem review. It's only a matter of time until they shut down Bioware. They shut down every studio they own, because they've already shut down a lot. They've shut down a lot of studios they've owned. It's one of the reasons why I really, really hate them. But they're going to run out of developing studios. And all they'll have left are in-house stuff. I mean, they're already slowly backing themselves in a corner where an EA, I don't think, has the ability to really dig itself out. Oh, they have the money. Oh, God, do they have the money. But it's going to get to the point where they're just going to abandon everything. They're going to pull a Konami. They're going to get rid of everything gaming related and just get out with as much profit as they have left. I think that's going to end up being true for all AAA gaming. Is it going to get to the point where they're just not making the money they would like to make? Their money-making trends have fallen apart. And again, they're just turn into Konami and just dump everything and make a run for it. And maybe they'll make pachinko machines too. Maybe it'll be the great pachinko machine rivalry between all these publishers, because they got nothing. They've got nothing left. It's sad. And if people don't want people like me talking about the good old days and complain where gaming is now, well, you know what? Wah. Wah to you people, because you did not live in an era where it was good. You didn't. You did not live in an era where gaming was not fucking with you with every fucking game that comes out. It is astounding. Astounding how much better things were back like a decade ago, 2 decades ago. Honestly, the best era for gaming was the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube era. Because there were so many innovative, artistic, and imaginative games during that time. Companies were willing to take chances, and sometimes they worked, sometimes they didn't. I mean, Beyond Good and Evil and Psychonauts both failed commercially when they originally came out. But over time, word got around, and they're huge now. So much so that Ubisoft is screwing that crap up again. But, you know, what do you expect from Ubisoft now? Because I remember, during that era, you know what I referred to as Ubisoft? The artistic guys. I referred to them as the artistic guys. They were the guys that had the different kind of concepts. Maybe not always games I would have liked, but they had like interesting artistic concepts. They have interesting, unique, imaginative things. Now they're the open world guys that I will not buy any more games from because they're all the same. What the fuck happened to gaming? Oh, what the fuck happened to gaming? There's a reason the PC players are referred to as the PC Master Race, because honestly, granted, there's still stuff like Steam that refuse to police their own shit, but they still got it better than consoles do, especially now. Honestly, they've had it bad. They've always had it better. I mean, I wish I could get back into PC gaming, but I can't afford a computer right now because my last one died and I've been unable to replace it. I know, a lot of my topic involves money. Well, then again, that is the basics of the entire rant. It's not just about my finances, it's about everybody's finances. And again, it's getting to the point where people just can't keep affording to buy these overpriced pieces of crap. Because I don't even know why some people buy them anymore anyways. Most of them have no content. Don't trust like IGN. Don't trust like GameSpot or any of those guys anymore because they lie. Even Metacritic I don't even follow. I can't follow any of these guys because I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. Besides some ethical issues that came up in the recent few years, but I mean, games, you want to know they're probably giving Anthem right now is like, oh, it's got like 9 out of 10. Oh, it's one of the best RPGs ever. Nah, it's not. Okay. Granted, I haven't really looked at what they're... Actually, you know what? Fuck it, I can check right now. What are they reviewing Anthem at right now? Because I've seen enough of Anthem to know I'm never going to buy it. But then again, I knew that before the game came out. It was just not something I was interested in. So let me look. Let me see if I can bring it up on my phone real quick. Random note, if you want to buy a good game that came out recently, play Resident Evil 2. Again, a remaster of a game from the PS1 era. Now granted, a complete rehaul because they used the RE, kind of the mix of RE4 and RE7, but There's a good game. Play that. Alright, let's see. Wikipedia. Oh, it is E. Whoops. I misspelled that in my tags then. Oopsies. Yeah. Bachelor's of Science. Not a... Bachelor's of Science. Was not educated well into grammar and stuff like that. Oh. You're... Okay. It's what... Okay, you say, is it good? What about the New Kingdom Hearts? I have played the New Kingdom Hearts. I enjoyed it. It's very flashy. The story is very padded. Not gonna lie, it hasn't been this. But what the fuck? Goddamn phone. The story is very, very padded. Because honestly, all the Disney worlds really add nothing to the overall story. The only real parts of the story that make any difference really are the interval parts, the beginning and the end. But gameplay itself, it's fun. Combat's fun. I enjoyed it. It definitely keeps you interested because there's so much you can do. Granted, you gotta learn not to always activate certain things, which took me a little while to get used to. But I enjoyed it. It's not a bad game. Not as bad as other people are making it out to be. Alright, what we got? Okay, well, my mistake. Reviews are not as great on Anthem as I thought. Metacritic on PC says 60 out of 100. Destructoid says 7 out of 10. GameSpot, I keep doing that, says 6 out of 10. Games Radar Plus gives it a 2.5 stars. IGN gives it 6.5. PC Gamer UK gives it a 55 out of 100. US Gamer gives it 2.5 stars. Mixed or average reviews. I know Angry Joe gave it a 4 out of 10. Because again, as I said, I just watched that before I started this rant video. And I agree. I agree with him, honestly. Now, honestly, if anyone's going to play Anthem or buy Anthem, I'd wait. I'd wait till the game maybe is half off or less. But I don't think it's going to be worth it. I don't... I see them trying to still try to milk as much money out of you as possible with, like, future DLCs, which, again, for Resident Evil 2, I heard their DLCs are free! Shocking! God damn. Oh, okay. You know what? This reminds me of something. I don't expect Lyndon here to be saying this, but that paid DLC to pay the people that are working on it. Yeah, sure. No, that's not true. That's not true at all. Because that money doesn't go to them, and and if they haven't already been fired for finishing the game, they will be, because it keeps happening. Look it up. It is insane how often that happens. No, that money's not going to the development of the game. That money's just going straight to the people at top. That's it. Or maybe into advertising. Yeah, speaking of advertising, I didn't even know this existed until I saw this in Angry Joe's video. Was a Neil, what's his name? Neil Blomkamp, I think. He did a live-action trailer for Anthem. Oh, good. It did look really good. But that's where your money is going. That is where your money is going, is for this ridiculous advertising. Especially when you are a publisher and people complain that the game is not that great, or you had to cut back on stuff because you didn't have enough money? Well, maybe it's because you spent too much on advertising. Word of mouth goes a long way. It really does. Free advertising on YouTube goes a long way with, you know, live streamers and reviewers and stuff like that. Oh, and man, that's going to be another rant for another day is YouTube, but I'm not going on there right now. But the fact games need to be 60, the fact a base, not a complete game, I keep pointing this out for a reason, is $60 is ridiculous. Is ridiculous. It has no reason to be $60. A good example from not long ago of a game of a complete package and without publisher interference was Hellblade. Is that right? Oh, shit. I gotta make sure I got the here's what it was. It's Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It was developed by, I think, Ninja Theory, and it turned out great. It turned out great. It cost $40. Which, and again, I point out Apex Legends is free. It's great. Right now, its microtransactions are fairly minimal, in my opinion. Which, again, is awesome. So the $60 price point without ridiculous special editions is stupid. It really is. Again, they put that lie on us to say they need it for the fancier graphics. They need it for the employees that they're going to fire. But it's untrue. They don't need it. And again, and there's another complaint from AAA about AAA gaming. Fancier graphics or more realistic stuff. Again, maybe it's because I'm an old fuddy-duddy. Granted, I'm only in my 30s, but still, maybe I'm an old fuddy-duddy to some people. Maybe I'm like, oh, it's always better in the old days because nostalgia goggles and so forth. Maybe it's because let me be honest here, because I'm right. Fancy graphics. Really, the realistic fancy graphics make a game, especially if there's no content. Anyone remember, oh, what was that game called? The Order? Like, what was it? The Order, like, 1891 or something like that. That was supposed to be a launch title for the PlayStation. That game had nothing to it. Not a damn thing. It looked pretty, but there was no content. Does that constitute a good game? Do graphics really constitute a good game? Because in my opinion, it doesn't. Lyndon, are you saying that good graphics do make a good game? Because I will disagree on that. I highly disagree with that, because I still play PlayStation. I was recently having a hell of a lot of fun playing Summoner. It was a release title for the PS2. Its graphics look like crap, but it's fun. Oh, she remembered the Order game. Okay, that's what she was talking about. Again, it's like, I wish I could remember the full title. That's the worst part about me. It's like, when you have a vast store of vocabulary and knowledge, yet you can't always access all of it. I hate that. It drives me nuts. But I still play a shit ton of PS2 games. Not all their graphics are good, especially compared to today's standards. But at least they're full experiences most of the time. They're fun, and they're decent. And they're still more innovative than what they come out with today. That was 2 generations ago. What the fuck? I remember, who was it I was talking? There's this one time in GameStop where I had a dude like, well, how the graphics look? Because unless they look good, I mean, I'm not going to get it. I just looked at him and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm like, if your graphics don't look good, it's not worth buying? Why? This is why when I do the review, the little mini reviews I do when I'm done with my Let's Plays of a game, I rarely bring up graphics unless they are really noticeably bad or really noticeably good. Because graphics don't make the game. They're just the icing on the cake. They really are. Again, I played Borderlands 2 and what's it called? The pre-sequel quite a bit because they're fun. They're good for mindless distraction for me, especially when I'm doing this. Although I'm so focused on my rage right now. So focused on my rage and annoyance right now, I could barely focus on shooting anything. But again, I'm playing this is from a generation ago. Oh no, the graphics aren't the most realistic and fancy. Does that constitute a good game? And then, again, pushing realism in gaming. I can't help but ask, why? Because I don't play games for realism. Oh god, no. If I did, then I'd just continue sitting around with, you know, daily life, because if I want realism, I'll just stick with reality. And I make this complaint, this is a complaint I made when, what was it called? When Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. A game I will never play. I will never play it. Because it looks boring, honestly. I don't play games for reality. I don't play games for realism at all. I play games to escape from reality. To experience some really over-the-top silly shit. Again, this is why I love Borderlands compared to, like, some other games. Because it's really over-the-top and silly. Maybe it shows that I'm an 80s kid. I have no idea. But I don't play games for realism. Was it really... Again, I remember, it's not really a controversy, but the memes and jokes that came about Red Dead Redemption 2 with realistic horse plops. Your horse shits. You see every muscle and fiber of the horseman around, and it shits. Okay. What does that add to my experience, then? Well, it just, you know, you have a shitting horse. Okay. Again, does that make it more fun?
Let me know if anything catches your eye.
Yes? No? I can imagine maybe a juvenile chuckle. But again, it's just one of those things, like, does adding realism to a game make it more fun, or is it just so you can brag about how realistic the game looks? Oh, just... And there's all the stuff they put onto Red Dead Redemption 2, all the arbitrary, like, oh, you cannot carry, like, 50 guns with you, you have to... Oh, son of a bitch, I didn't realize it was a grenade. You have to go back to your horse and replace guns, you gotta make sure your hides don't go bad, so on and so forth. I'm like, am I playing a fucking Wild West game, or am I playing a Western simulator? Because I prefer a Wild West game over the Western simulator. I don't need realism in my games. I don't need that much realism. Because they don't make it more fun, they just make it busy work at that point. And I don't want busy work. I don't want grind. I don't want to worry about my fucking hides going bad because I didn't pack them in ice or something, because that just seems a lot more hassle than it's really worth.
Just for high fives.
I mean, I don't know. At that point, it's like it's not even an arbitrary argument, honestly. It's a legit question. Does realism make a game more fun? I am legitly asking this because I have yet to see proof that it makes a game more fun. Maybe that's just me. I mean, I'm sitting here in a cave now collecting porno mags because some dude wants to work off if he doesn't get his girlfriend back. Actually, that might be more realistic than I want to admit. But again, I mean, legit realism. Maybe again, this is something else. This is back when Halo was really big. Because Halo was the game that popularized the concept, if I could remember where my guns are, popularized the concept you can only carry so many guns, because it's more realistic. And I was always kind of bothered by that, especially when you can collect ammo for just about anything. Borderlands, at least you can carry 4, but still. I'd rather be able to, well, then again, it's a loot-based game, so maybe that does make more sense. Sorry. But I'm saying, like, Halo. More realistic, you can only carry 2 guns, you know, Call of Duty, blah, blah, blah. Which I was never a fan of either. But then, let's look at Doom, which came out, which the new version came out not long ago. Let's say about, what, 5 years ago, I think? Maybe less. I'm still waiting for the next Doom to come out. In that game, you can carry every kind of gun with you, everywhere you go. Is it realistic? No. Do I care? No. Because I like being able to carry every gun I can find and, you know, murder everyone I can with them. It provides variety. Who the fuck is shooting me? I know, I went from complaining about economics to complaining about realism, but I think it still comes out to the same thing. How much modern games are different than the old days. I mean, maybe I could ask Lynn, does realism make a game more fun? Do you look for realism in games, or do you just want to play whatever and hope it's fun? I will await your answer as I continue ranting about other random crap, or continue shooting stuff. It took me, as I finally said, it took me about an hour to finally get back to playing this game after my initial rant, but I've calmed down enough to be able to focus on it. Heck, 1,000 grenades. Again, not realistic. What the? Did I do that? Where did that grenade even come from? Fair point. Then again, it also depends on... and again, this argument may also depend on the kind of game. There's a reason why I prefer Saints Row over Grand Theft Auto. One, the characters are a hell of a lot more fun. And, 2, it's just silly. It is incredibly silly. I love the silliness. I love the over-the-top wackiness of Saints Row. Yeah, there's a game I haven't played for a while. And then I got Grand Theft Auto. Yes, it is... how do I put this? It is developed well. It is usually quite sound structurally. But I'm comparing Grand Theft Auto 5 to Saints Row 4. I know, it's not exactly a fair comparison, as honestly the games are almost nothing alike. But, again, I have to compare of realism versus ridiculous. Again, I love ridiculous. But when it comes to fighting space aliens with superpowers and guns, compared to 3 really unlikable people trying to go on heists, I'm gonna take the ridiculousness. And I love heists. I love heist stories. I love heist games. I mean, hell, that entire concept alone is why I got into the Sly Bandicoot game, or Sly Bandicoot, wow, Sly Cooper games. I never played the 4th one, but I do own the first 3, and they are all solid. They're all PS2 games, and they're all fun. They got these fun little things to do for your heist. That's why I like the first Assassin's Creed. Oh yeah, I know, right? Now, granted, I have a friend that's like obsessed with GTA Online. I have not ever played GTA Online, so I don't know what that's like. It's been a while since I talked to her. And I've heard like mixed things about GTA Online, but again, with GTA 5 or GTA in general, they are generally more realistic in their stuff. I did recently pick up Vice City for my PS2, and I've never actually played it. Oops. But, then again, I never played Yakuza Kiwami yet, and I've had that for like a year. I guess it just really depends on my mood then. Oh, there's another one I could say versus. But, oh, I'm out of stats. Another example, besides Saints Row's ridiculousness, is another one with ridiculous concept, but slightly based in a bit more realism, is the Yakuza game. The Yakuza versus, again, also versus GTA. I will take the Yakuza games anytime before GTA. Why am I dropping grenades? And the reason for that is because, one, they're fun. Their worlds are a lot less spacious than Yakuza, because you're really in only like 1 to 2 city districts. But you have a shit ton to do in those city districts. You got gambling, you got sexy women fighting, you got softcore porn. Yeah, I admit that it's kind of weird. there's fucking phone sex in Yakuza. I mean, again, it's a cultural thing. I admit, I understand it's a cultural thing, but sometimes you just can't help but go, okay, why? There's slot car races. I mean, there's more innocent stuff like slot car races. There's Fight Club, I think. I know there's like, you know, real estate management, which, you know, not exciting, but at least it's simple enough that it's not boring. Especially when you have like especially when you have your own dudes to hire for it. But one thing I love over Yakuza over Grand Theft Auto is the ridiculous combat. Oh my gosh, it's like watching a karate film. You got some ridiculous shit going on in Yakuza, and it's amazing for it. I really need to play Kiwami, which is a remake of the first Yakuza game. I own it, I just need to play it. Well, technically I gotta install it, then play it. But again, it's just by argument of realism versus fun. Ooh, got something new. But again, that's more, that might be just a personal opinion. But I just remember all this stuff about the realism of Red Dead Redemption 2, and it just bothered me. It bothered me because I felt like a lot of the stuff they were praising themselves for, and they did, were just really weren't that necessary to the game. And dead.
Funny story. I would have had someone do the same to you if you underpaid me for that old catch a ride you had. Irony.
My own grenade's coming back to kill me. Oh, but yeah, I think I'm. played out a lot of my rants. I think I got a lot of my points across, at least as much as I can, as sometimes my thoughts can be flying around all over the place. I tried to stay as focused as possible. But again, that's going to be a common theme for me. I don't bring this up as Mr. Maleficent because, honestly, his shit's more about doing his own shit. But, yeah, fuck AAA gaming. Fuck AAA gaming and its money gouging practices. I mean, it is still ridiculous. I can't stand it. I don't know how anyone can stand it. I mean, it makes it very hard to play games with anybody when they can't afford them because, you know, game publishers just make it impossible. And I'm not saying just support independent gamers. Support games that really kind of deserve it. Ooh, new shield. And what games deserve it? Well, sometimes it can be preference. I guess the easiest way for me to say that is, look before you buy. Do not pre-order, because as I had actually had to cancel a pre-order for Alien Colonial Marines a long time ago because I found out more about it and realized, oh yeah, I do not want this game. Yeah, that game was absolute shit. But yeah, I think it's time we get out of the pre-order culture entirely, because especially if you're gonna go off of stuff from like E3, then you deserve to be lied to, because I have not had in the past, I think 4 plus years or so, I have not had a trustworthy thing come out of E3. So I've just been off of it, honestly. Because I don't need to glorify the perpetual lie. I don't need to glorify game publishers lying to me, because I'm tired of it. And again, there are some that are really well known for it, like Ubisoft, like Warner Brothers Interactive. Granted, they really don't care. I still think... actually, now I remember something else I wanted to talk about. Because this again goes back to Electronic Arts, but different subject. This is me bitching about Star Wars in gaming now. Especially Electronic Arts being a... Because I was thinking of Disney, and this is what made me think of it. And them being okay with the way Electronic Arts has handled the Star Wars property, which I think is absolutely ridiculous. I understand. I know what they said. They mentioned that we're not game publishers. We tried it before, it didn't work out, whatever. I'm like, okay, fine. You know where your strengths lie. But you're happy with the fact that Electronic Arts has only come out with 2 Star Wars games in a decade? That's it? And they canceled every other Star Wars game they wanted to work on so they can primarily just focus on Battlefront. What the fuck? I hate to say this. Oh, no, I'm glad to say this. If you cannot make a decent Star Wars, you cannot make more than 2 Star Wars games in a decade, it's Star Wars? You are in the wrong business. Get out now. Star Wars should be one of the easiest games to make multiple games for. It's fucking Star Wars. You can make flight simulators and people will buy it. They have made flight simulators and people bought it. They've made real-time strategy Star Wars games. We've had first-person shooters, third-person shooters. We've had, Jedi Academy games. We've had... Oh, God. There's been so many different kind of Star Wars games throughout history. Back when LucasArts was just LucasArts and not owned by Disney. make of that as you will. Oh, never knows this before. But again, in 10 years, no, I think even less, 12 years, you've had the Star Wars license, and you could think of nothing to do with it besides Battlefront. Wow. Just wow. I say the same thing about Warhammer 40k, but they actually do a variety of games that most of them don't work out too well. We're kind of a problem. But again, just wow. How can you not get more than just one kind of Star Wars games out there? That shouldn't be possible. That should not be possible. You cannot fail that badly. And believe me, Battlefront has been an abject failure since they started coming out. I don't want to see another Battlefront, ever. Not at all. Especially because EA has no idea how to handle it. They have no idea how to handle the Star Wars license. My fucking God, there's a reason people are petitioning for EA to, for Disney to take the license away from EA, because they don't do anything with it. They haven't done a damn thing with it. When Jim Sterling points out the most innovative Star Wars game that's come out since Battlefront was the fucking motion control game, that is horrifying. That's just horrifying. I know my friend Lyndon here is not really a Star Wars fan, so she probably doesn't have an opinion with it, but we're talking about a franchise that has been around for what? Quite a few decades now. I didn't say centuries. Been around for a few decades now. A system that is... Hold on. Oh, stuffy nose. A property that had... Okay, here's the genres that are in Star Wars. You have sci-fan, because you can't have sci-fi with Star Wars. There's just no... there's no real legit science in Star Wars. As much as I love it. You have fantasy. You have pseudo-science fiction. You have World War II battles. You have Old Western. There's so many genres in Star Wars. It is kind of scary when you really sit down and think about it. Oh, you motherfucker. But... And you can only think of doing Battlefront. Oh, it's just, again, I almost feel like I'm going to have an aneurysm of stupidity because it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous that they have done so little with this license. I know they don't want to spend money because, well, they're shits, but my God, how could you not do anything with the Star Wars property? It's fucking Star Wars! This isn't like Star Trek. Star Trek really only has like a couple of themes, and its biggest theme is exploration. Star Wars? Star Wars is very easy. How can you not do Star Wars? The last thing you guys came up with was Battlefront, and before that, the Old Republic. That's it. Wow. What have you been doing with your time? Oh, that's right. Trying to, you know, nickel and dime Star Wars fans. And there's a group of people you do not want to nickel and dime. Because honestly, Star Wars fans are incredibly difficult to please. Incredibly difficult to please. I have had more than my share of what the fuck with Star Wars fans. With agree with them or no, They are extremely difficult to please. And if... Yeah, I'm going to see very diminishing returns there. God. I mean, these are the kinds of people that did start those... Yeah, these are the people that did start that petition. Because they want more Star Wars games. They want something that's not fucking Battlefront. No one wants Battlefront at this point. Not unless it's Battlefront 2 for the PS2 or PC. Yeah, the original Battlefront 2, not EA Battlefront. Not that crap. Just, it's astounding how little that company has done with Star Wars. Astounding. Hell, you could have... They had racing games with Star Wars. They've had demolition games with Star Wars. How are you guys not able... How are you guys not able to do anything with this license? My God, you guys fail as a game publisher. When you can't do anything with Star Wars. Honestly, then you fail as a game publisher anyway. But, EA... Fuck off. Alright. I've lost my sense of composure and professionalism. Just fuck off, EA. I really do not want you to exist anymore. I do not want you around anymore. I really, really rather you just leave and not come back. Stop ruining studios. Stop ruining gaming and get the fuck out. After you, then we'll start to try to deal with Activision Blizzard. But until then, I want you gone. I just want the company gone. Just a big waste of space. A waste of gaming, a waste of art, a waste of business.
Pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're ridiculously rich now, but as I brought up, there's gonna be those diminishing returns with their business, with their business model, because their business model is insane. The things they tell investors are insane. I think investors are insane because they are expecting the impossible now. And again, when these developers are unable to reach the profit margin of I have all the money in the world, they shut them down. Even though it's impossible to reach peak. You've hit the top. You can only go down from this point. That's just basic economics. At this point, you should focus less on trying to keep making more and focus more on trying to break even. Break even, or hell, try not to lose any more than you already have. Oh, I just realized I went to the thing. Whoopsie. Again, granted, I know I have a Bachelor of Science, but even so, I don't have a Master's. I'm not hired for this kind of thing. And yet I still know better. I still know better. Why is common sense such a difficult thing for these companies to grasp? Are they really that blinded by dollar signs? But yeah, I think I've gotten... I think I finally got everything off my chest. God, this is lasting longer than my last actual Mr. Maleficent Plays game. Ugh, lousy connection. Yeah, I think it's just because my connection with my PS4 was all messed up. I don't know why, it just was. Which is upsetting, because I like playing Grim Fandango. I really do. God damn it. For gods. Well, I guess since Lyndon's still on here, I don't know if she has anything else I want to talk about, if I could talk about it. Since she's the only one commenting in here. Whee! Oh, son of a bitch. I don't know. As I said, I'm never good at closings. I'm never good at speeches. I guess I could say, I guess, in short, AAA Gaming's gotta get its head out of its ass. Fuck EA, because, well, that's just generally my thought process. Fuck EA. I'd say the same thing with Konami, but as Konami's not really doing jack shit anymore, still fuck them. I should miss that one. Just trying to think. But yeah, fuck EA. AAA publishing, get your heads out of your asses, or you're just gonna start falling apart. Because you're just gonna keep losing the assets you have, mostly because you keep firing them.
Looks like you got what you need to unbrainwash Laney. That's the word now.
Trying to think of any other closing thoughts. I guess the only advice I can think of right now is if you're a business owner, you have to learn how to balance profit margins with, the health of your workforce. I've been feeling that personally myself. Yeah, that's about all I got. So, I guess have yourselves a good night. If something else ever comes up, I'll expect another rant video, I guess. Or an update video if anything else comes up that I can't keep doing Mr. Maleficent or something as a hang up. Besides that, yeah. Enjoy your night.